For me, I'm all about keeping the main thing. And the main thing for me is just fighting and making sure whoever's in front of me, whatever cupcake it is, I can enjoy that cupcake while they go do everything else for me.
Yeah. But any of them can get it. I like cupcakes, and I'm gonna eat them all, baby. Thank you guys.
At the end of the day, if I'm a champion, I'm a champion. I want the event to be.
Hi guys, welcome to Top News Age. Hit subscribe and press the bell icon to get notifications from Top News Age. Today we're going to look at
Max Holloway streak 24-6.
Let's get started.
Max Holloway is an American professional mixed martial artist who competes in the featherweight division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. On 3rd June 2017, he defeated Jose Aldo to become the UFC featherweight champion. He is number 1 in the UFC featherweight champion as of 29th March 2021 and number 7 in the UFC men's pound-for-pound rankings. He was also known as the youngest fighter on the UFC roster when he made his promotional debut on 4th February 2012. Unfortunately, he lost his debut fight in UFC against Dustin Poirier, but after that, he became one of the most successful fighters in UFC history. So far, he has an impressive streak of 24-6. Let's discuss all the fights of Max Holloway. Max Holloway vs. Corey Rosa 1-0. Max Holloway appeared against Corey Rosa in his first professional fight on 27th March 2010 in Destiny MMA 3/27/10. Corey Rosa was also playing his first professional fight, so the situation was almost the same for both of them. But Max Holloway looked very strong from the start of the fight. In the 3rd round, the referee stopped him from strikes and announced him the winner. Max Holloway vs. Travis Peer 2-0. Max Holloway faced Travis Peer in his second professional fight on 22nd May 2010 in Destiny MMA Uprising. Both of them won 1 so far and were looking to add another in their winning streaks. Travis Peer showed good resistance in the first round, but Max Holloway looked very strong from the start of the second round and snatched the victory on submission. Max Holloway vs. Duke Zaragoza 3-0. This was the 3rd professional fight of Max Holloway, which was held on 11th September 2010 in X1 Heroes. Max Holloway put Duke Zaragoza against the cage from the start of the fight, but Duke Zaragoza also showed little resistance throughout the 3 rounds. In the end, Max Holloway managed to win on a unanimous decision and moved his winning streak to 3-0. Max Holloway vs. Brayson Kamaka 4-0. Max Holloway faced Brayson Kamaka on 6th November 2010 in X1 World Events, Island Pride. Both of them showed great energy from the start of the fight and started punching each other. After the first time out, Max Holloway looked more aggressive and put Kamaka on the ground. He started punching on his face and won the fight in the very first round. Max Holloway vs. Harris Sarmiento 5-0. This fight was held on 12th March 2011 in X1 World Events Champions 3 Kona. Harris Sarmiento was the favorite against Max Holloway with 30 wins so far. But the rising star Max Holloway was very confident of defeating his experienced opponent. He put his best throughout the 5 rounds of the fight and won it on a split decision. Max Holloway vs. Eddie Rincon 6-0. Max Holloway faced Eddie Rincon on 1st July 2011 in Unorthodox Industries Championship 4 War on the Valley Isle. The fight continued for 3 rounds but couldn't get any result. Both tried their best to snatch the victory, but in the end, Max Holloway announced the winner on a unanimous decision and added another win in his streak. Max Holloway vs. Dustin Poirier 6-1. These 2 young guns were going to face each other on 4th February 2012 in UFC 143, Diaz vs. Condit. Both had a great little ground scramble and showed great potential. Max Holloway came out and was able to stuff the first takedown by Poirier, but was taken down and beaten from there. Unfortunately, he couldn't recover from there and lost his first fight on armbar submission. Max Holloway vs. Pat Schilling 7-1. After his first loss, Max Holloway faced Pat Schilling in his next fight on 1st June 2012 in TUF Live Finale. This was the debut fight of Pat Schilling in UFC, which is considered a one-sided beating. Fans agreed that Pat Schilling was not ready for the UFC debut. Max Holloway defeated him after the 3rd round on a unanimous decision. Max Holloway vs Justin Lawrence 8-1. Max Holloway faced Justin Lawrence on 11th August 2012 in UFC 150, Henderson vs Edgar 2. The fans were expecting a monster striking battle between them, as both came with wins in their last fights. They were known for using their hands, feet, knees to threaten their opponents. Fortunately, Max Holloway managed to add another win in his streak by winning the fight on TKO punches in the second round. Max Holloway vs Leonard Garcia 9-1. Max Holloway faced Leonard Garcia on 29th December 2012 in UFC 155, Dos Santos vs Velasquez. The fans were very excited about this highly anticipated featherweight bout. It did not disappoint the fans in terms of entertainment. In the end, Max Holloway won it on a split decision and moved his streak to 9-1. Max Holloway vs Dennis Bermudez 9-2. This fight was held on 25th May 2013 in UFC 160, Velasquez vs Silva, which is considered one of the best fights of that event. Unfortunately, Max Holloway couldn't produce the winning result and lost the second fight of his streak. Dennis Bermudez used takedowns and some big power shots to punish Max Holloway to win the fight on a split decision. Max Holloway vs Conor McGregor 9-3. Max Holloway faced Conor McGregor on 17th August 2013 in UFC Fight Night 26, Sonnen vs Rua. The fight will be remembered for the hype, which reached almost unbearable decibel levels. McGregor controlled the fight and worked hard in all the phases to gain victory. He defeated Max Holloway on a unanimous decision after the third round. Max Holloway vs William Chope 10-1. This fight was held on 4th January 2014 in UFC Fight Night 34, Lim vs Safedine. Max Holloway really wanted to go back on the winning track after losing the 2 consecutive fights. As the first round started, Max Holloway looked very strong. He was fighting with full strength and really wanted to end it quickly. His efforts brought the victory in the second round on TKO punches when the referee stopped him from striking. Max Holloway vs Andre Fili 11-1. This was the opening fight of UFC 172, Jones vs Teixeira, which was held on 26th April 2014. The fight delivered more than the expectations from the fans. Andre Fili dominated in the first round, but Max Holloway rebounded in the second one. The third round looked close until Holloway began to tag Fili on the feet. He finished the fight on a Goiton choke and another win was added to his streak. Max Holloway vs Clay Collard 12-3. Max Holloway faced Clay Collard on 23rd August 2014 in UFC Fight Night 49, Dos Anjos vs Henderson. Clay Collard had won 13 of his fights so far and was looking to add another one. He showed some great challenges in the first 2 rounds, but Holloway won it in the third round on submission and moved his streak to 12-3. Max Holloway vs HAMID AKIRA CORASSANI 13-3. This fight was held on 4th October 2014 in UFC Fight Night 53, Story vs Nelson, which proved one of the easiest fights for Max Holloway. He started punching HAMID AKIRA from the first round, who couldn't rebound and lost the fight. The referee stopped Max Holloway from striking and announced the winner. Max Holloway vs Cole Miller 14-3. Max Holloway and Cole Miller came face-to-face on 14th February 2015 in UFC Fight Night number 60, Thatch vs Henderson. An accidental headbutt left Miller cut open, gushing and frustrated, but it didn't help him against the tough Holloway. The fight continued for 3 rounds but couldn't get the result. In the end, Max Holloway was announced the winner on a unanimous decision. Max Holloway vs Cub Swanson 15-3. Max Holloway faced Cub Swanson on 18th April 2015 in UFC on Fox 15. Holloway was looking like one of the toughest opponents due to his best footwork and striking. His creative striking culminated with a third round submission, making it the most impressive performance to date. He won the fight on Goiton choke submission in the third round. Max Holloway vs Charles Oliveira 16-3. The number 5 ranked Max Holloway and the number 7 ranked Charles Oliveira put their streaks on the line on 23rd August 2015 in UFC Fight Night 74, Holloway vs Oliveira. The talented Holloway was looking for a key win, which delivered him to the divisional elite's doorstep. Oliveira was also looking for a win to solidify his chances for title contention entering 2016. Fortunately, Holloway won the fight on TKO punches in the very first round. Max Holloway vs Jeremy Stephens, 17-3. Max Holloway outclassed Jeremy Stephens to win 8th straight fight on 12th December 2015 in UFC 194 McGregor vs Aldo. Stephens looked very aggressive in the first round, throwing wide leg kicks and looking for an opening for his devastating right. But Holloway was able to escape every time with impressive consistency. In the end, Holloway won it on a unanimous decision after the third round and moved his streak to 17-3. Max Holloway vs Ricardo Lamas, 18-3. Max Holloway faced Ricardo Lamas on 4th June 2016 in UFC 199 Rockhold vs Bisping 2. All the 3 rounds of the fight were action-filled. Lamas refused to retreat Holloway's advances and threw the huge counters. But Holloway was able to handle Lamas fairly to get a 30-27 on all 3 judges' scorecards. He won the fight on a unanimous decision and moved his streak to 18-3. Max Holloway vs Anthony Pettis, 19-3. Max Holloway and Anthony Pettis were set to face each other on 10th December 2016 in UFC 206, Pettis vs Holloway. This matchup became the main show of the event after an injury forced Daniel Cormier to withdraw. Anthony Pettis tried his best in the first 2 rounds but couldn't get the desired results. In the third round, Holloway snatched the victory on TKO punches. Max Holloway vs Jose Aldo, 23. Max Holloway faced Jose Aldo on 3rd June 2017 in UFC 212, Aldo vs Holloway. Both entered the ring to claim the title of the best 145-pound fighter in the world. Holloway came into the fight with a 10-fight winning streak and was looking for another consecutive win. He won the fight on TKO punches in the second round and when the referee stopped him from striking. Max Holloway vs Jose Aldo, 21-3. Max Holloway faced Jose Aldo on 2nd December 2017 in UFC 218, Holloway vs Aldo 2, when Aldo replaced the injured Frankie Edgar for a featherweight championship fight. But again, Jose Aldo couldn't win against Holloway. He lost the fight in the third round on TKO punches when the referee stopped Holloway from strikes. Max Holloway vs Brian Ortega, 22-3. After almost a year away from the octagon, Max Holloway faced Brian Ortega on 8th December 2018 in UFC 231. It gave him an incredible 13 consecutive fight wins. He secured the victory in the 4th round on TKO punches and moved his streak to 22-3. Max Holloway vs Dustin Poirier, 22-4. Max Holloway was going to face Dustin Poirier for the second time in his streak on 13th April 2019 in UFC 236. It was a great chance for Holloway to take revenge for his last defeat against Poirier. But Poirier's power was too much for Holloway. He shellacked Holloway in the first round and won the fight on a unanimous decision instead of his rebound. Despite his defeat, Max Holloway said that he learned a lot from this fight. Max Holloway vs Frankie Edgar, 23-4. Max Holloway faced Frankie Edgar on 27th July 2019 in UFC 240. This was the first fight of Max Holloway at 155 pounds since joining UFC in 2012. Both of them had won 22 fights of their streak so far and were looking for the 23rd. It was very important for Holloway to win the fight after losing the previous fight from Poirier. Fortunately, he was able to win on a unanimous decision after the 5th round. Max Holloway vs Alexander Volkanovski, 23-5. Max Holloway faced Alexander Volkanovski on 14th December 2019 in UFC 245, Usman vs Covington. Alexander was very confident to put an end to the blessed era of Max Holloway. He got the strong part in the first round and attacked Holloway with leg kicks. It looked like that Alexander has done all his work on the champion Holloway. Unfortunately, Holloway lost the fight on a unanimous decision after the 5th round. Max Holloway vs Alexander Volkanovski, 23-6. Max Holloway faced Alexander again on 11th July 2020 in UFC 251, Usman vs Masvidal. He really wanted to win this time as he lost the previous fight with Alexander on a unanimous decision. He outstruck Alexander in the first 2 rounds, but halfway through the 3rd round, Alexander pushed him to the cage and showed his power. In the end, Alexander won again on a split decision. Max Holloway vs Calvin Kattar, 24-6. Max Holloway's recent fight was against Calvin Kattar on 16th January 2021 in UFC FN 61 on ESPN, Holloway vs Kattar. Holloway came out aggressively and consistently attacked Kattar. he drowned Kattar in volume in the opening frame and opened a nasty gash in the second round. In the end, he won the fight on a unanimous decision after the third round.
Hope you enjoyed our video. Please like, comment, and share it. See you all in the next one. Thank you. Bye.